Hi everyone, Drogner here. Got another magfed loadout video for you here today. This is the loadout here that I'm going to be using for 2017. For those of you who saw my previous magfed gear video, you'll have seen me go through my assault rig over there. I'm going to do an update on that. I have made some changes to that recently, so let's get started. So the rig here, for those of you who saw my previous video, you'll know this is a Condor Gunner's vest. I've got the 3 magazine pouches on the front here, 3 on the side, a dye tactical twin locking pod pouch on the side here, as well as the dump pouch on the back here for my used mags. Since I did the previous video, I've added a few extra bits to this. You can see here I've got a utility pouch on the front here. Again, this is made by Condor. It's got a map pouch on the front there, and the zip portion of it, I store all sorts of things. So I've got at the moment my pull through squeegee in there, which is always useful. I also carry things like lighters, and when I'm allowed, tools go in there, which is extremely useful. The side here, obviously, I've got 10 round stick tubes which go in here, which are really nice. The other addition that I've made to this rig, which you didn't see on the previous video, is on the back here. I now have my name tape, which is really nice. And I also have this triple mag pouch on the back here. Obviously on my back here I don't use it for magazines. What I've got inside of here is my radio. So before a game starts, I'll switch the radio on, put my vest on, and then I'm good to go. The wire for it, obviously you want to keep it out of the way, is run through these Velcro loops on the side here, which keeps it out of the way. It then gets clipped on the front here, and then I've got the earpiece, which of course I wear in game. So that's the rig there. On this rig I have the 6 of the square round head mags. These contain 20 rounds each. In the side here I contain spare air bottle, 2 squeegees or fluffies. One of them is an Exalt Barrelmade, the other is an Empire fluffy twin squeegee, and then in the other one a 160 round pod tube for extra ammunition. So that there is the rig. I did have to make a slight modification to my rig actually. I'm about 6'1", I'm about 11 stone, so I'm fairly lightweight, quite slim. And what I was finding was the back plate here was falling down on my back. It was sitting really low, so I'm not sure if the camera can see, but I put a couple of stitches across the tops of these, across the top of the back plate here into the straps to hold the back plate up higher. I've actually got these straps set up with the normal setup in it to hold it as high as possible, but it's not enough unfortunately. Anyway, that there is the rig that I'm currently using. The other recent piece of gear that I bought, which you probably won't have seen, is this here. This is a drop leg plate carrier made by Combat Tactical, spelled with a K. You can get these, are very generic pieces of equipment. You can get them from pretty much all military hardware stores. This is designed to be worn on your leg. Obviously straps go around your thigh, and the top piece here fits through your belt and allows you to easily remove it should you need to. People use these for all sorts of different things. You can carry extra magazines, you can put a pistol holster on there. I've used it to put these Viper grenade pouches on. Obviously this allows me to carry my grenades into a game much more easily. I don't have to worry about losing them because these are very heavy duty. They have a good storage space in them. Oh, that's the top of an EG-18 smoke grenade. Yeah, very pleased with those, very pleased with this plate here. One of the things I should mention about the Viper grenade pouches is that for some reason Viper do not put molly webbing or molly weaving on the back of the grenade pouches. The first time I used this, I found the grenade pouches were coming loose because I wasn't able to weave the molly properly. Very important you do that, because of course if you don't, your pouches can come loose. So what I've actually done with these is after I found they were coming loose, took them off, and I took a knife and I cut some slits into the back of the grenade pouches there, so I could actually weave the molly properly. So that's a really nice addition to my gear. Really pleased I got that. I mentioned that I've got these 6 square round head mags there, the standard for standard paintballs. I also have 3 first strike mags here for whenever I need to use first strikes for whatever reason. I tend to find first strikes are still too expensive at the moment. I'm quite happy to stick with the standard paintballs, but I do have those for whenever I want to switch to first strikes. Now my goggles that I'm using, these are my Dye i3s, which I use with my magfed loadout. Obviously the green and black suits the sort of magfed look quite well. Got it fitted with my clear lens at the moment. This I use during winter and low light scenarios. During summer I have a smoke lens, which helps to filter out some of the very intense light on particularly bright days, but that's really useful. You can see here I've got my GoPro mount on the top at the moment. Currently got it fitted to the current GoPro that I'm wearing at the moment so that I can record this. But no, really pleased with these. The only thing I would say about these is the lens retaining system on these goggles is not very good. It's an injection molded rubber, and you can see there on the camera it's held in using these retaining hooks, which means that whenever you want to change the lens out you have to sacrifice your thumbs, because it is very hard to peel that away to change the lens out. That's one of the improvements that Dye made with the i4s and the i5s. I don't think they're selling the i3s anymore, obviously, because they're quite an old goggle, but I'm probably going to run these into the ground before I actually bother to replace them. But yeah, very comfortable goggle. It's got the chin strap on it. With the way that paintball's moving these days with health and safety, I imagine that chin straps are probably going to become mandatory sooner rather than later. But no, very pleased with those. Good set of goggles. Now, clothing and tactical equipment. What I've got here are my Viper combat boots. These I was given for Christmas. I'm really pleased with these. These are very lightweight, very well made. You can see that, not sure if the camera can see that, but a lot of the stitching on this is triple stitched. It's very tough. In multicam as well, so it matches the rest of my gear. And with the twin zips down both sides, it makes putting them on and off very quick, very easy. One of the problems I found with my previous boots was that getting them on and off was very difficult because they were quite tight. Not because they were too small for me, but purely because of the height and the fact it's made out of tough materials. So I'm really looking forward to using those. I'll let you know how they go. Now the rest of the clothing equipment I use, I've got my gloves here. These are made by OMGAI. These are very sort of typical military style gloves that you'll find. They've got the hardened knuckle protector there. These are in a sort of a coyote tan, and I've had these for about 2 years now, and I've got to say, very impressed with them. They're very hard wearing. None of the stitching on them is broken. Still in very good condition. The only bit of damage you will see is on the back of my right glove here on the knuckle protector. That was where I scraped my hand across some tarmac, and just as well that I was wearing these, otherwise I would have opened my knuckles up. But yeah, Velcro strap to hold it in place with a metal buckle. Very pleased with those. So yeah, those will be used for a long time to come. Now my headwear gear that I have for particularly cold days, I have my Shemrag head wrap, or however you pronounce it, not sure if I got that right. I wear this around both my head and my neck whenever I play. Nice and padded, looks really good as well, and keeps my head warm. For particularly hot days though, that does cause my head to overheat. So what I've also got is I've got a boonie cap here, which again, multicam, looks really nice. Has this removable neck guard on it, so helps protect my neck from sunburn, and also acts as a bit of a head wrap as well to protect my neck from paintballs, which is not too bad. So yeah, pleased with that. With regards to my clothing, pair of Helicon combat trousers. These are really good, very hard wearing. First pair of combat trousers I ever bought. These are Helicon SFU Next combat trousers. The cargo pockets on them are particularly good because even after 2 years the Velcro is still working perfectly. And inside of them they have these elasticated loops, which I put my 10-round stick tubes into, which allows me very quick access to them, which is really nice. Like I said, had these for about 2 years and they're still in really good condition, so I'm not going to be replacing them anytime soon. Now my combat shirt again is made by Helicon, and this is your typical sort of base layer shirt that you would wear underneath the sort of assault rig like that. So you've got this nice thin mesh material here, which is close fitting and helps to wick away sweat. Nice and thin as well, so you won't overheat, and of course for colder conditions you can put a t-shirt on underneath it or even a jumper. Whereas the arms are made of much tougher material, and they actually have built into them in the shoulders zip pockets, which are really, really nice, and Velcro for putting your patches on. You can see that one's there, that one's blank, but on this one I have my foxhound, my lucky foxhound. And they actually have built-in elbow pads, which is not too bad. I did find though that sometimes the elbow pads will start to pull out, so what I've done is I've put a couple of stitches in the back here to hold that in place. But overall, I got this at the same time as my combat trousers. Very pleased with it. Really, really good piece of equipment. Now we get on to the interesting stuff. One of the most common questions I get asked is, what marker are you using? This is my Misc M17 Elite. Misc is one of the premium names in magfed markers. You can see I've made some modifications and some additions to mine. This, like I said, is the Elite model, so it's the sort of full length. You can also get the CQC, which is cut down, the DMR, which is extended. You can also get Misc have also brought out an SMG model as well, which is quite nice. My one here, what I've done is I've added a few additions to it. As you can see, I've got a Picatinny rail riser here along with a T1 sight. The reason I put the rail riser on is so that when I'm wearing my goggles I can actually get behind the sight. A lot of people don't appreciate the fact that when you put a sight on, because you're wearing a pair of goggles, your goggles end up hitting the stock here and you can't get behind the sight, which is really annoying. I've also got an angled foregrip on here to make it more comfortable to grip, a side-along GoPro mount, and a tack light, which is very, very powerful. And I've got Misc's own mock suppressor on there, which is quite nice. With the stock as well, I've also got the node regulator on my 13 cubic inch bottle. You'll have also seen that in the spare bottle that I have on my assault rig, which is really nice. But I really like the look of this. It really does look the part and is fantastic to use. The side-along GoPro mount, obviously, if I put that to one side, in this case here, I have all my GoPro cameras. So in here, obviously, spare cameras, spare memory cards, spare batteries. This camera here is the one that fits in the side-along mount. There we go, fitted properly. So there, that acts as a selfie camera for when I'm playing. You may have seen some of my previous videos where I snap to and forth from this camera, so it gives you an extra perspective to look from. But no, really pleased with that. Works really well. One of the other things I have in here is, well, two things actually. The Misc spare parts rebuild kit. I cannot recommend that enough. That contains every single spare O-ring, washer and pin that you could ever need for maintenance on your Misc. I've got a couple of friends who own Miscs, and the amount of time that I resort to this to help them out is, well, this is a lifesaver. The other thing is the M17 Elite there comes with, as standard, a .686 bore barrel. Not too bad, that's an intermediate bore, but a lot of the time you're using quite large paint, or you don't have a choice as to what paint you're using. So I've got here a Lapco 10-inch big shot assault barrel. This is in .690 bore, so this allows me to overbore my marker, as well as having a removable muzzle tip, so I can, if I want to, put Lapco's own suppressor onto the end of this barrel, so I can have a suppressor on this barrel as well. You often see people with the Titman TIPX also get a Lapco barrel. They get the 8-inch version because that matches the TIPX really well, but that looks really, really good on that marker. I've used this loads of times. The final piece of equipment I have, obviously along with my cameras, I also have this, which is a lithium ion cell. This is a RAB power brick, 16.75 amps I think this one is. This allows me to recharge my cameras in game, which is invaluable. You really, really need to be able to do that if you can't change the batteries out, and a lot of paintball sites you go to, they don't have access to power sockets and whatnot, so those are very, very useful. So whenever I'm using my GoPro cameras, I always carry one of these. Well, there you have it, everyone. That's my magfed gear and loadout for 2017 that I'm going to be using. I may add some gear and equipment here, there and everywhere, but I'm sure you'll see that in my games. Hope you've enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time.